Contrary to popular belief, no, I was not having a dump. What's the other one? But I do agree with the be patient. And as for where I'm at, I was trying to sort out an issue because when I was loading up SteamYard, or StreamYard, I should say. No, it's StreamYard, right? My camera was working, but my mic wasn't. Then my mic was working, but my camera wasn't. So I just had to restart the whole computer. But I say all that to say this. What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, this is real late night with Chig. My intention was to always to do a video, but I was supposed to do it like 2.5 hours ago. Straight up, I've been so knackered because of work lately. I fell asleep on the sofa. So I thought to myself, you know what? Rago, I'll do one anyway. And whoever watches it, watches it. And for those of you who are watching it live, the best thing you can do is share this content around and drive them likes. Light Squad. I know even this late, the Light Squad are about. So please do drive those likes through the roof. Yep, Alex, that's right. I'm just explaining why as well. Streaming literally 10 to 1 in the morning. So please, for the efforts, people, drive them likes to the roof so that when people get up, then they can at least see this video. Now, the reason I was insistent on doing this video, oh, and thank you for the donation, Alex. Much appreciated. Now, the reason I was insisted on doing this video was because people have been asking me about the Guendouzi situation, which I'll address, but I've also been more worried about the Saka situation. I've been in a couple of group chats now where people keep saying to me, Chig, what do you think about this Saka situation? What do you think about the Saka situation? Is it a bit worrying that we've got 18 months left? Now, don't get me wrong. Because people have a habit of hearing what they want to hear. You know, like a good example is I did a video very recently with Lee, as I always do every time we play a game. And I thought we were being quite positive in the game. I mean, I know we had some critiques for the certain superstar, but I thought generally we were quite positive during the game. And for some reason, there's this one idiot that made a comment in the first video that was like, "Oh, well, you put Lacazette in your thumbnail, but you spent the whole time bashing him." I said, "The whole time bashing him? What are you talking about?" So people have this habit of hearing what they want to hear. So I want you guys to hear this before I say it. Obviously, in an ideal situation, you never want to be entering into the last 18 months of your contract. Never, ever, 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 ever. We want to have stopped this situation. Having said that, nobody saw Saka doing what he's doing right now. And I'm sure there are people that are saying, yeah, but trust me, I knew about Saka in the under 23s. Let me tell you something. I knew about Saka too. I knew he was a decent talent. And obviously, him being Nigerian, you know I'm keeping an eye on all our British Nigerians in the under 23 setup. Balogun is another one who, unfortunately, I think will end up leaving the club, but I think he's going to go on and do big things as well. So with Saka, always had I had a real hope that he would kick on and do some bits, but I knew he was a raw talent, and it was a case of finding the right manager to be able to get that talent out. But man, I mean, when you consider the fact that he's playing out of position and has somehow conjured up 8 assists, you know this guy's a bad boy. So obviously it comes to contract time, and teams have seen what Saka's been doing in the league. It's unsurprisingly that you get the biggest teams in the world that are surrounding him. So a lot of people are worried that he's in 18 months of his contract. Bayern Munich are looking at developments. Liverpool, which is I think the one that everybody's more worried about, is looking at him thinking, okay, let's keep an eye out on this. In my honest opinion, I'm not worried because I think he does genuinely want to stay, but I also think that he has obviously he's got a good agent, and he also has recently come out and said that he's leaving his future in the hands of his agent and parents. From a Nigerian perspective, I can only speak from a Nigerian perspective. They would want him to have the very best chance of succeeding. And obviously, Arsenal have this habit of turning talent into jacks of all trades. And I'm sure that's something that they wouldn't want to do. Big up again to Alex for the donation. I see you, my bro. He asks, what do you think of England and Nigeria playing option? I'll come to that in a second. So thank you for the donation, though. So I think one of the things that he will try and do is that he will try and get some assurances first and foremost of playing. And I don't necessarily think he needs to start. And I don't necessarily think he's going to insist on starting, but he's going to be insisting on playing time. I think that's reasonable. He's 18 years old, but he's also at the very start of his career where he's just starting to find his place and find his understanding in the team. And he would want to continue that development and continue that process. And I think, and this is one of the reasons why I don't think he's looking to leave. Why would you leave your boyhood club at such a crucial stage of your development? It'd be different if he's 22, 23, he's starting to come into the prime of his career, he's starting to look around and he sees Liverpool waiting for him, then I could understand the fear a little bit more. But I think you're at the start, really. He's done amazingly well, but we're not talking about Mbappe here, you know what I mean? He's at the very, very start of his career, and it's just starting to get a foothold as to where he belongs in the team. Second of all, I think he'll want to make sure that he's playing in the right position. I've heard a lot of people compare him to Ashley Cole. I don't think he's a left back, bro. As incredible as that statement sounds, I don't think he's a left back. I think he is more of a winger. I've always thought he's a wing back, but hearing him today and actually seeing him develop, actually crucially over the last 3 weeks, I changed my mind on that. I could see him being a winger. My only reservations to him being a winger was I didn't know if he had the ability to think on his feet. Like, we saw a guy that went to the byline and crossed the ball, and that was all well and good. But did we have someone that was potentially had that, for the want of a better expression, that Iwobi unpredictability, where if they didn't want to go to the byline and cross, does he have the potential to take a soul or two and, nutmeg a couple of players and goes past a couple of players and knock the ball on the other side and run past a couple of players? So these were always the questions that I had. That's why, to me, I thought the Newcastle was a great coming-of-age game, because we saw what he potentially could be and what he could grow into. I do think the Bale comparisons are very interesting. I don't like comparing players to other players. I think it's corny as fuck, and you won't necessarily catch me doing it. But at least I understand that comparison a little bit more. There's someone who perhaps has played at left back a couple of times, because people forget Bale started off his career not as a left back. He was always an attacking player. Then Southampton pushed him back for a few games as a left back. Then they realized, hold on, this is potentially a world-class player here. Why don't we see what he can do as an attacking player? And very similar to Saka, we realized that, actually, this guy has a bit of invention to him. He is blisteringly quick, has a lot of, can cross the ball. Actually, can cross the ball better than Bale ever could, to be fair. Okay, I'll take that last bit back. Bale could whip the ball in occasionally. So, yeah, I think from that perspective, I can see those comparisons a little bit better. But I just feel as though he'll want to make sure that he continues developing, not as a left back, but as a winger. And obviously, that will be up to the likes of Kolasinac and Kieran Tierney, who will probably breathe the sigh of relief hearing that. Because he came out yesterday and said that, he dreams of being an Arsenal winger, not an Arsenal left back, that he's happy to do for now, to do what the manager asked him to do, but that he wants to develop as a winger. And I think that would be part of the negotiations, almost that kind of Theo Walcott-esque demand of, listen, I need to be playing as a winger, none of this left back stuff. So I think that would be part of the negotiations. And I think that's clever, especially if you're his parents. I want to make sure that my son's being developed correctly. Because I'll tell you what, as much as I think that Oxlade-Chamberlain is a good player for Liverpool, I do feel like Wenger stifled his career a little bit, playing him here, there, and everywhere. Whereas he'll want to be, he doesn't want to be a jack of all trades. He wants to be a master of one. And I think he could potentially be a good winger given the opportunity. So yeah, I think that will form part of his negotiations. But the main reason why I'm not worried is that he's an Arsenal fan. I always get his and Alex Iwobi's story mixed up, but I'm pretty sure he came to the club when he was 7 years old. Saka, I think he settled initially in South London before obviously joining Arsenal at 7 years old and then moving. He's always been part of the club. He is literally one of our own. And now I know it's always a controversial thing when you say that somebody who was born in another country, who came over as a kid, is one of our own. People start getting touchy because they don't see, if he was white English, it'd be different. But, these things happen. But let's have it right. I don't want this kid to be awobied by people. He is one of our own, full stop. So from that perspective, I want to see us kick on with this guy and see him develop. And for that reason, I don't see him turning his back on the club, because to me, whilst people were focused on the fact that, he's saying that he's leaving his future to his parents and his agent, which to me was a sensible answer. Actually, I was more excited by what he was saying about how he dreams of playing as an Arsenal winger. Not as a Liverpool winger, not as a Bayern Munich winger, as an Arsenal winger. So from that perspective, I'm not worried. I hope he gets the very best deal he can. The other argument and the other thing that you could say is that, how much are we going to pay him? I had an argument with my very, very good friend, Zach, who basically said that, he feels that he would give Saka whatever he asked for. I personally I don't believe in that. I feel like we should meet him as much as possible, as realistically as possible. But I think if you give an 18-year-old, let's just say you give an 18-year-old let's say you give him 80K, where does that leave you in 4 years' time, 5 years' time, 6 years' time, when you want to give him another contract? It's just like, I feel like he should be rewarded for good form alone. Never mind, we actually need him to extend. There's rumors that he's looking for £60,000 a week, which seems a lot for an 18-year-old. I'd be looking to give him something in the region of 45 to 50. I'd be shocked if he didn't sign that. 45 to 50 with some assurances that he will be developed as a winger, and that he'll get adequate game time. I'll be shocked if he doesn't sign that contract. But you guys, I think that's an interesting debate point. What do you guys think? Would you break the bank for him? Would you give him whatever he wants? Or would you, what would you offer him? What sort of ballpark figure would you want from it? Whether you're in the live chat or whether you're in the comments, let me know. I'll be very curious to see what you guys think. Big up once again to Mr. Gomez. His uncle Timmy Saka is a close friend of mine and was my roommate in college. He's not leaving as told. There you go. So yeah, I think I just got a feeling that, you know what, anyone else, I would doubt this sentence, by the way, But for some reason, with Alex, there's just certain things that he says that makes me reveal like this guy is not just any random on YouTube. I believe you, brother. I believe you. Thank you for once again for the donation. Big up to you from I love my Aussies, so big up Mr. Moriarty from Australia. Isn't it 2 a.m. where you are, Chig? No, it is 1 a.m. So I'm about to. I love your second name because I always think dumbass. But I'm the dumbass for doing this video so late. Let me tell you. So I'm about to head off in 5 minutes. Let me quickly talk about the Guendouzi thing. But yeah, for me, just to wrap up the Saka thing, I'm not worried. I don't think you guys should be. I think he'll sign. I do think it will go on a couple of months, maybe, just to kind of make sure that certain things are flashed out. But I think good on him. Good on him. Get the very best deal you can. Hopefully it doesn't involve him leaving. And that's all we can do. So, yeah. And here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised after all of that if he ends up signing a £30,000 a week contract. You know? I'd be... For me, I'd be just fine if he signs a £50,000 a week contract. But if it's anything more than that, I'd be a bit like, And funny enough, the friend I was having this debate with, showing you that even though we disagree, we could still stay friends. I had another guy in my comments in the last video that said that because he didn't agree with me, and that because I liked Lee, that was a see you next Tuesday. I was just like, my gosh. You gotta love YouTube, man. So yes, me and this friend of mine that completely disagreed, he said he would have gone up to 80 for him. And I'm like, boy, I don't know about £80,000 a week, but to me, I'd be shocked if he didn't. If it was at least, I would say at the max I could see it go to is 50. I'd be shocked if he doesn't sign a 50,000. He just doesn't seem like the type. He doesn't seem like the flashy, give me as much money as possible type. I think he knows where his butter's bred. I think he'll be fine. Now, his next contract, I can't promise he'll stay as loyal to Arsenal, especially if we keep messing around. But I think this contract it don't make sense to move now for him. Whereas his next contract, it will probably make more sense, to be honest. Shout out to you, my guy. I also love my Asian fans of all over Asia, India, and also the Far East. So thank you, my guy. Appreciate it. And I wouldn't say he doesn't deserve more. I just don't. For me, unless you're Mbappe, why are we giving you more than 50k a week if you're 18 years old? All right, you've got 8 assists. Fantastic. That's why we're giving you a new contract. But also, it's important to keep in mind, and maybe this is where I'm looking at it too much with a HR mind. It's like the sometimes when we give people pay rises, right? A manager will always ask their member of staff to get a member of staff to get like more than 25% pay rise, and we always push back as a HR team and say, why are you giving them so much? Because then it leaves you nowhere to go when you reach the top end of your budget. And I guess the same kind of thing should apply as Arsenal. Yes, I know Arsenal are rich and yada yada yada, but we don't want to get to a situation where, I don't know, he's 26, 27. You say that Arsenal for a decade or whatever, and we now have nowhere to go because his second contract was for 150,000 a week, and now we have nowhere to go unless we absolutely break the bank for him. For me, I just want us to just be easy. Be easy. He's got a year and a half left. Let's see what we can do. Now, speaking of contracts, and then this brings me to my second and final story before I get up out of here, is Guendouzi. And that is interesting because at the start of the week, there was a lot of, not the start of the week, the end of last week, there was a lot of stories that Arsenal were looking to negotiate his contract as well. He's on a £40,000 a week contract. He's obviously got 2 years left because he's been here for 2 years. But that was last week. How quickly things change. Since then, we've also learned that he has clearly had some sort of falling out with Mikel Arteta. I say that because usually Guendouzi, if he doesn't start a game, will come on in a game. And he's had that sort of almost agreement with every single manager we've had this season. But for whatever reason, on Sunday, he didn't come on at all. He didn't even look like he was warming up too much, which I found particularly interesting. And it's so turned out that, Mikel Arteta and him have had a falling out. Not a lot of details as to what that falling out was specifically about. And Mikel Arteta said, you know what? Stay on the bench, So that's interesting. To me, I found that interesting. From Guendouzi's point of view, he must be a little worried. I'd be shocked if he wanted to leave Arsenal. I do think he will get suitors, PSG probably being one. I think I can imagine a couple of Italian clubs coming in. And I think if it does come to the point of selling Guendouzi, first of all, would you guys sell him? And how much would you guys sell him for? That is another one that I think would be pretty interesting. But yeah. Oh, he wasn't even in the squad. My bad. No wonder he wasn't warming up. But I did see him on the bench. That's why I was saying that. So, yeah, I think for me, that's pretty interesting. It'll be interesting to see if he's in the Olympiacos squad tomorrow. And it'll be also interesting if he's in the squad for Everton on Sunday. So, given the fact that he'll have 2 years left on his contract this summer, that will be a very intriguing time to see what Arsenal will do with Matteo Guendouzi. Would I sell him? It depends on the disrespect, because you guys know I still feel that there's a player there, and I still feel like I'd give him another season just to make sure of what we've seen. But obviously, in order to do that, you need to give him a contract to shore up the value. So it is what it is. Would you guys sell? For me, I think if we could get between a 30 to 40 million pound bid, I'd be tempted to sell. Now, I know people will think that that's pretty mad, but I think for a 20-year-old player with potential, what Arsenal should do is say, all right, 35 mil, and either a buy-back clause or a sell-on clause, so that we get a cut in case he actually does go for a mega deal. And I think you do. I think you put on that last one if you sell to anyone but PSG. Because I've got a feeling he'll end up at PSG sooner rather than later. So let's see what happens. All right, that's pretty much it. Yeah, Uptown, kick Uptown. That's why I corrected myself. I could have sworn I saw him. That's why I said I thought he was in the squad. But maybe he wasn't. It's my mistake. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the late night show. Sorry it's this late. Shouldn't be this late. But I'm off to go and get some more sleep. I'll be back tomorrow for my preview. And if you're lucky, I might do an extra show just to make up for my lack of shows on Tuesday and Monday. So do keep an eye out for that. And yeah, then obviously me and Lee have got the game on Thursday. And then on Friday, I'll have a show with Ola on the Chig and Ola Combat Show, the link to which is in the description. I've got to check with Kenny Ken, but hopefully he should also be on that as well. And we will preview the Fury versus Wilder fight number 2, which will happen this weekend. All right, I think I've covered all bases. I'm out of here, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.